Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. In this video, I'm going to share with you the experience of a 3ds Max veteran user who got frustrated with the state of development of 3ds Max. And he explained in this post why he no longer uses Max. I've been personally using Max for more than a decade now, so I understand where this guy is coming from, but to be clear, I don't completely agree with what he had to say because everything has his own experience and perspective on things. Besides, 3ds Max has made some progress in the last couple of years, and this thread is around 1.5 years old. So without further ado, let's listen to what this artist had to say. He starts off saying, I post this topic because I do not care about the fate of 3ds Max. I want people at the helm of this program to objectively understand the situation. So basically he wrote this post addressing the development of 3ds Max in hope that they might understand the situation and change something about it. He continues, for over 20 years I have been working with 3ds Max since the very first version. I am also quite familiar with Cinema 4D, Blender, Maya and XSI or Softimage. I'm not new to 3D and I understand what I am saying. For many years Max was the monopolist. There were huge tutorials and models in the Max format. When Cinema 4D appeared, I didn't think that it could be even competing with 3ds Max, because people who could be asked how to do this or do that simply did not exist. There were no tutors and no models on this new software. There was a gap between them, only people who knew Max took the job. When XSI appeared with its ICE, it was revolutionary software, but perhaps too complicated for beginners and within a friendly interface. However, it was very well thought out, comfortable and fast. I think that it was taken as a basis and developed now so it could be a leader, but it was just bought and rebuilt as a competitor. Every year Cinema 4D developed and Max stood still. And yes, innovations in Maya 2 aren't particularly pleasing after buying it from Autodesk. I think that the developers were ashamed when they published a list of Max updates for each new version. Max fans like me every time were disappointed. Certainly over the years, Max has become better than it was, but not as much as it could be. Now years later, Max has lagged behind Cinema 4D forever and this gap widens every year, and globally Max stands still. Something is improving, but not so much. For a long time, Max was the number one for visualization of interiors. This was due to its distribution, simplicity, and integration with other Autodesk software. And of course, the main factor was the presence of VRay for Max. Furthermore, Corona appeared and VRay appeared and all other programs. There were other render engines that make beautiful pictures quickly. Computers are accelerating, and the trend is that all software will soon make beautiful renders in real time. VRay is still good but not number one, because it is one of many. Embedding Arnold was a right decision, albeit a very belated one. People from MentorRay are stuck far in the past. By the way, MentorRay is discontinued right now. He continues, I heard that they made their software RA and scored on Max, but I could be still wrong. Many times I tried to offer some ideas for improving Max on the forum. For example, the ability to put keys on the parameters as it was done 100 years ago in XSI. But Autodesk apparently decided that doing animation in Max does not mean that it is not intended for this. So there is still such an important and simple thing such as this unrealized. Thus, now the application of Max is only for visualization of images and interiors, but soon the programs that directly design the interiors themselves will make beautiful pictures, and the need for Max in these areas will disappear. And then what will this mean? Those who did not have time to learn other software will be among the laggards. I have one of my friends, the furious defender of Max, who loves it passionately and uses all the plugins to the maximum. He recently told me that he already does 50% of his work in Cinema 4D plus Octane. We argued with him for many years whether Cinema 4D or Max is better, and now time puts everything into perspective. As for animation, Max is very poorly updated. The tools for the characters are wrecked, and there is no possibility for simple animation, as I have already cited in the above example, with elementary keys. Sculpting is very poor. The Boolean did better than they used to, but there are some plugins that appeared in Blender such as Mesh Machine. Blender is more convenient because everything is convenient. All the shortcut keys are thought through, and in Blender you can create individual objects your own short films, and in Max there are no such examples, or it is extremely rare. In Max, people still have no understanding. The keys fly off periodically, and you have to download them again. New versions of Max cannot be opened in the earlier versions. Inconvenient menus that have not changed since the version 1 of Max. And innumerate examples of what is done poorly and what can be improved can be very long. You can just stupidly copy working things from other software, but this is not done year after year. I no longer hope that someone will hear me, maybe because they still think that Max is the leader or number 1, and that there is nothing to improve. Maybe because there is an improvement forum where people vote for what needs to be improved. Tell me, when you have a serious illness, such as cancer, do you go to the surgeon or ask your friends what to do? Automobile development companies hire the best auto designers to get masterpieces that people have never seen before. So here, I think you need to listen to the more coolest specialists who work in the industry and not ordinary people. I'm not saying that it is necessary to dismiss those who set the vector for the development of Max. No, it should have been done a long time ago. Now it is too late. Now we are talking about that Max had time to jump to the last car of the departing train. I hope that after seeing this message, I mean the developers, because of their short-sighted glasses, will see the problem and understand where they can go. I cannot be silent anymore. By the way, the Blender polymodeling and convenience leaves Max far behind, and in all other aspects, increasingly there is job offers for Blender. Now for beginners, there is no point starting to work with 3ds Max when there is Blender or Cinema 4D, which is better than Max in almost everything. Now the plugin for Cinema 4D Xparticles leaves far behind all the potential solutions that may appear in Max over the next decade. Therefore, Max has no future, and now it is more of a software for only static images. Unfortunately, the number 1 for motion design has become Cinema 4D. Everything is luxurious here, in addition to the integration with After Effects, and everything from the interface is ideal. I will give an example of the communication with the development manager for Max. I said, let's make it possible to copy or paste objects or materials into different scenes as it was done in Cinema 4D. To which I was told, why do it? There is such a free plugin copier that can do it. That is, a person needs to know what a plugin is, find it, install it, and will be all the same worse than it is done in Cinema 4D, where you can switch between windows and open scenes and where you don't need to search for an extra program. In Blender, even the search for plugins is installed in Blender itself with just few clicks. There it is made conveniently, and it is free. And a friend of mine said when he moved from Max to Cinema 4D, I realized that I have been deceived. So these were some of the thoughts of a veteran 3ds Max user who no longer stands behind it. And I personally think that some of these things he said are true, and other parts I don't completely agree with, based on my experience and the new developments of Max. So I hope you found this video useful and informative. If you have something to say, you can leave it in the comment section below. Also, you can check some of our previous videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.